Smash that limiter!
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Welcome to episode 55, Knife Fight. Fuck yeah, that's what we like to hear. We're not actually going to get into a knife fight. Just talking.
No, that's
about
it. That's it. No, I'm gonna have a butter knife coming through the screen of yours, through my screen, and then I'm just gonna. Ah! Hello, Mini Max.
yeah.
How are you today?
G'day, how's it going? So the topic today is the reason why what had brought this title into question was Australia's apparently cracking down on knives. I found out yesterday on a conversation with my mum on the phone, and she started like trolling me, trying to troll me. It didn't really work. Saying that Australia's like going like England and they're gonna ban knives and all that sort of shit. And I just started laughing. I'm like, it's not gonna work, not in our country. And anyway, so I thought, you know what, I'll actually look into this because I don't pay attention to any news anymore. Like, I just don't care. So I looked into it, and basically, what's happening is if you're in a shopping center or a hospital or university, the police now, this is only in South Australia though, Queensland, they're just restricting who can buy the knives, and they're doing that every other state as well. Like, so obviously it's already, you can't buy a knife unless you're over 18 anyway, but they're just making restrictions like if the knife's above certain length, like a big butcher's knife, something that you just can't walk in and buy it. You have to talk to staff, and staff have to then unlock it out of a locked cabinet and stuff like that. It's not actually an issue. They're not banning anything. And then in South Australia, they can just search you for no reason, really, except they suspect you. And then if you just get found with a knife on you, then obviously you're going to get done. Unless you have like reasons. So if you got like a box cutter or a workman knife or something like that, and you use it for work purposes and you can prove it, I think you'll be fine. And even if the cop has been a bit of a wanker, which they can be, you can argue in court anyway, and you'll probably get thrown out anyway, especially if you can prove that you use it for work purposes and your boss can vouch for you and all that sort of stuff. Like, you're not going to get done for it. And I'm talking about like a knife that big anyway, a blade that big. Not if you get found with a kitchen knife and you're like, I'm a chef and I'm walking to work with my one knife, not like a roll of knives like chefs usually carry in their, like in a backpack or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure if a cop pulled you up and unrolled like a whole heap of high quality chef knives and you go, oh, I'm a chef, I work at this restaurant, I'm actually heading to work now, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do you for having knives because, one, you have very expensive knife set that I think that you'd be pretty pissed off with yourself if you were to use it in self-defense because you would wreck it. And two, it's a little hard to quickly get a knife out of a backpack in like an emergency situation if you're going to use it for a weapon, and then unroll it and then pick your knife out. Like, yeah, no, it's going to be completely situational. So no, we're not going like England where they literally like say you have to have a license to have a fucking knife at a certain length, and you can get like a criminal offense for having a Leatherman on you. Like, no, it's not going like that.
I actually do have a multi-tool. I have a, what is it? It's not a Leatherman brand. It's a Gerber. It's a Gerber brand multi-tool. Yeah, I love Gerber.
I can show my knife collection. So this is my actual fucking box cutter knife.
I could imagine that though. Yeah, I could imagine like the whole like, officer, I'm just the traveling butcher. Like, we got you, rattling boys.
This is actually a really good fucking, like, it carries heaps of blades. Like, this is actually a really good box cutter. It's not a safety one, so it's not like spring loaded. The spring loaded ones, I actually don't like them. I've stabbed myself more. I stab myself more with a safety knife than I do with these, because these, like, when it's in your pocket, like, see, you have to push down and across, like, it doesn't come loose. But the safety ones, like the multicolored ones with the slide, and they're spring loaded retractable. So when you let go of the spring, it's like a dead man switch. It'll automatically bring the knife back. I stab myself more with them because when they're in your pocket, when I used to work at Coles or whatever, they'll grind up against my pocket and it would fucking push the blade into my leg every time. I fucking hated the cunt. Anyway, fucking open. It's hard to do it. Like, see, look, this is how good it is. I can't even open the. Anyway, there's a little compartment in this thing here that lifts up when it wants to. Why is it so hard? It's been a dick. Anyway, so this thing lifts up, and then you have refills for that as well. So it's a box cutter. It's a good one. Use all the time. Then I've got, like, my deer hunting knife. So, this is a really nice present from. Oh, I need to clean it. Present from my parents when I went to Canada, Alaska, and it's got made out of like deer. This is real deer antler, and it's got your gut hook there. It's for like gutting and stuff, and it's a really nice blade, really short, gets in the meat and separates the skin from the body. It's really, really nice, and you can see it's made in Alaska if that will focus. I really need a new webcam. This webcam's shit. So I really was upset the first time I used it out hunting. I let my dad use it when he was skinning a deer, and I can't get that blood stain out. No matter how much vinegar and stuff, I've never been able to get that blood stain out. Very disappointing.
Just use that. It's just part of the knife now.
And then I've got one of these old shitty ones. This was a present from an ex. All my knives need cleaning, man. This one's just got glue in it because I use it as a box cutter because it's actually a shit knife. And then I've got heaps of other like little multi-tool ones. So like I've got this cheap. Oh, I just dropped one. I got this cheap shitty knockoff Swiss Army knife thing. And then I've got an actual Swiss Army knife. I've had this since I was like 12. It's even still got the fucking tweezers and shit in it. Usually they do missing, but these are really good. And then my parents, when they went to Switzerland, they actually got me a Swiss Army knife from Switzerland. They got it in camo because, I like camo and stuff. This one, I don't use it very often because it's actually really, really... Like, the quality compared to this and this is like... This, when you buy them in store, they're blunt already. This you buy in store in Switzerland and it's razor sharp. So, way better. And the blades are better and stuff like that. So, I don't use it very often because I just like it. And then I got this old faithful fucking piece of shit. It like fell apart, so I've got screws in there and the blade's very stiff, so I can't really get it out. But I found that at a beach. just
casually.
I just saw something shiny when I used to do surf lifesaving, and I just went and got it. And then I've got my combat knife, which I use for like when I go camping and stuff because it's got like a saw and it's a nice size blade, and I use it for lots of different things. Really, it's all scratched up to buggery, and all my knives are pretty well used. And then I have like machetes and stuff like that, and axes and stuff, and then like the best tool in the world, bottle opener.
Yeah.
So, like I love knives.
I noticed.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then like I love kitchen knives and stuff. We've got now 2 sets of kitchen knives. We bought like an expensive Harris scarf knife set, and like within 2 days of living out here, the blades are already rusted on them because we have like real bad hard water, so like corrodes everything. It's fucking shit. And then for Christmas, my family got me a set of Smeg knives, and they're really nice. And then my brother got me a really nice chef knife that I very rarely use because it's like made in Japan, and it's all black and anodized Damascus steel. It's very pretty, very expensive, so I just don't use it. But yeah, so like no, they're not making all these knives illegal. There are restrictions, like if you have a bayonet or a double-edged blade, something like that, you actually by law have to keep them in a safe. So yeah, bayonets and stuff like that. I've had bayonets in the past, and they all had to be kept in the safes. So, I mean, just easy enough. I mean, it's not a drama. They go on a gun anyway, so that's the reason why they're in the safe, is because they go with the gun that they're matched up with. So, but yeah. What about you, Spliff? Have you got any collections besides microphones?
Besides microphones.
Besides
About to say so.
Yeah, everyone knows that you have a microphone collection, but yeah.
I do have a microphone collection. It's very
Yes.
vast, and I plan on getting more, just not right now. I actually also have a knife set.
Oh,
You
do
know
you?
the construction company Starrett?
No.
Okay, so there's a construction company called Starrett, and they make construction gear. One of the things that they make are well, they make just about everything that can go on a drill and drill holes into, like, say, wood or concrete or what have you. They're called Starrett, and I bought a knife set from them. I think 5 years ago at this point. It was a colleague and I were out at a we're at an electrical outlet shop. So we go out and buy a electrical wholesaler called I think it was RJ Turks. And this was, I think, 2020, so when everything was sort of like in the middle of COVID, and a lot of businesses were actually diversifying their markets. And I think Starrett, I don't know if Starrett still makes it anymore, if there was just a quick little, oh shit, what do we do?
Yeah.
Moment. But they made a knife set, and for I think it was an obscure number. I think it was like 135, or even more obscure number than that. But I bought a set. Oh yeah, that's the one. I bought that
Wow, that
set
looks
many
really
years
nice.
ago.
Yeah.
They're really good knives,
Yeah.
and made by a company that specializes in tools that drill into hard wood and concrete. So, well,
Yeah.
can't really go wrong with that. And I have a favorite knife out of it. It's one I use
Yeah.
all of the time.
Which one is it out of this kit?
Not that kit. Let's
Is it the one with
so
the
it
green handles?
is.
Because I saw a green handle kit
Yeah,
before.
the one closest to the one closest to or the out of the big knife set, it's the one. If you look at I don't really know how to describe it. It's sort of like the shorter. What shall we say? Shorter blade, but that's closest to the edge, sort of thing. Is that
Yeah.
sort of knife? That one, yeah. So that's my
Yeah.
favorite knife. It's really good.
They look really,
It's
really nice.
they're really nice. They are very,
Yeah.
very nice.
You know, to this day, I still don't know how to use these sharpeners. I don't.
The
I don't.
grinding stone, like
Yeah,
the sharpening
the
stone.
stick, the stick. No, no.
Oh,
That's
those ones.
yeah. I know how to use a sharpening stone. That's what I use to sharpen my hunting knives.
Yeah,
Because
it's just a
because
sharpening stone on a stick. That's all it
yeah,
is.
because all my kitchen knives I sharpen. I've got like a desktop sharpener from. Oh fuck! What is it called? Can't remember.
I don't know how I feel
Usually,
about those ones. They usually fuck up your knives.
they usually fuck up your knife, but this one's actually designed for knives. And it also does serrated
Right.
knives and scissors as well. Um, I did a lot of research. These ones are really good. My boss just recently bought one of these.
Yeah.
I've seen them on. I haven't actually known anyone use them, but I presume they work exactly the same as a sharpening stone like that there. So
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
that if honestly, if you're gonna like sharpen knives, now get a stone. A wet stone
Yeah.
is probably the best bet. The ones that I've got for the kitchen knives is fine because I haven't got crazy expensive kitchen knives, and the tape is perfectly matched with the V anyway. So,
Mm.
but if you really get into hunting knives and stuff like that, you cannot beat this style of sharpener. You can't beat it. The sharpener is like the best for any use case scenario because you can set any angle you want and any stone you want, and it's just
Just
like
works.
that. Just it works flawlessly. You're gonna get the best edge out of it. You're gonna get your true angles. These are the best sharpen. If you're into knife stuff, these are the best. These not so much. The one I've got. So this is the one here that obviously this is a teamy one, so it's probably shit, but it's exactly like that. That my boss got. So the knife goes up against that, and then you just roll the stone up against it. I wouldn't get a teamy one.
No, no way.
Yeah, like something like this.
You may as well just go outside and pick up a rock.
Yeah. Like I've had these ones before, and they're fine. They work okay, but they only work on certain knives. Like I wouldn't use them on everything. But personally, I would prefer this style of sharpener for my hunting knives. I don't own one, but I probably should get one actually for my hunting knives and stuff like that. It's just you can just get the best blade angles possible, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Because
fair.
these won't work with hunting knives because, like, you know, there it is. That's what I've got. This is what I use for my kitchen knives. It works perfectly fine. It doesn't damage my blades at all on it. So, and like as you can see, you can do serrated knives and stuff like bread knives and shit like that. So it does. It works really well. I don't have a problem with that at all. Stones in it are really good as well. So, but yeah. Okay, so that's yeah. Like I don't know. I just like a good blade. Like I used to enjoy doing a bit of blacksmithing and stuff like that. So like when it comes to blades and metallurgy and stuff like that, I kind of like it. Um, it takes ages to make a blade. I used to have because like you know I got my sword collection here, and I used to have a blade about this length. This I didn't make this one. My old at my old workplace, my old boss made me this. It's made out of door hardware. So I made a blade about this length. It was about this thick, and it was made out of flat metal steel. So it wasn't like a real true blade. Like it had an edge on it, but I wouldn't use it for cutting. It was purely for display purposes only. And it was nice. It was cool looking, and I made that just with flat bar and grinded it all up and whatnot. It will never be like something like this, you know. So obviously this isn't even folded steel or anything like that either. This is a replica of a Kill Bill samurai sword. But even like this was made the same way that I did the flat bar. And then the only thing that they did is they did the sand acid trick to get that edge on it. But like to make something like this would take you months. Take you a very long time.
I've actually got a
To make
book
a
about.
real sword, it would take you a very long time.
Fair enough.
It's hard.
I've actually got a book about I think it's material science, and it
Yeah.
goes over metals.
Yeah.
And it's actually really interesting. So the way the difference between a high quality metal and a low quality metal is, imagine you've got a grid, right?
Yeah.
Like a grid, like a I don't know, like a let's just say a 5x5 grid, and where the corners meet on each of these grids is like a dot, and that is essentially a metal atom, shall we
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
And a perfect bit of metal basically be represented chemically as a perfect grid. Now,
Yeah.
what happens a lot of the time with low quality grids is I forget the name of I forget what it's called, but essentially, instead of having perfect grids, you have these sort of breaks where instead of like this one dot connecting to the four dots that are right next to it, it sort of skips one below it and moves to like the one that's like sort of below and left, as opposed to
Yeah. Yeah.
just below it and to the left, I should say. And that's essentially what causes a metal to be weakened or weaker. And
Yeah.
essentially, if you're able to get that metal to a perfect grid, it makes it a hell of a lot stronger.
Yeah. So that's the reason why you fold steel. Now, so there's an old wives' tale that the Japanese steel is the best quality steel there is. Now, modern days, it's pretty good stuff because they obviously the world, yeah, as we know, the world of trade is phenomenal. So Japanese people are obviously now able to get good quality steel, mostly from Australia, which is cool.
Hmm.
Anyway, because we have probably the best steel in the world. Well, not probably, we do have the best steel in the world. We have the highest iron content in our country, of any country really, is in Australia. Anyway, I digress. So back in the days when Japanese samurais were common, and samurai swords and katanas and all their kitchen blades, all that sort of stuff. The reason why they folded their steel so often was because it was shit quality steel. They didn't have the quality steel that they do now because they didn't really have really good mining resources. They didn't have much resources. So their country was never really mineral rich like other countries are. So that's why they had to fold. A general katana would be maybe folded 6, 7, 8 times, which is, each fold and then you fold it again. It obviously, so like when you get someone that's like, it has 1,000,000 folds, okay, 1,000,000 folds is a waste of time, honestly. But each fold, so for example, you fold one, that fold is now times 2 because it's 2 pieces of metal. Then you fold that again, and then now it's 4 high, and then you fold that again, and it's so on and so forth. That's where you actually
Works
get your
out logarithmically.
Exactly,
Or
yes.
no, is it logarithmically or exponentially? No, I think it's actually exponentially.
Yeah, it basically doubles per fold because essentially you're folding metal on top of it. And exactly like I said, so imagine a piece of metal. The way you exactly explain it is perfect. So that is your piece of metal there, and your atoms are aligned like that. The whole point of folding is to fold this plane on top of that. So then instead of just like that, you've got like that, but then you also have got it like that. So instead of just being aligned, they're now also intertwined with each other, and then you hammer it out, and then that piece now comes like that again, but like folded and wrapped around each other, and then you spread it out again, and then you fold it again, then you spread it out again, and you fold it again, and then you spread it out again, and you fold it again. And the whole purpose of it was to get rid of the imperfections of the steel. So versus like modern, like medieval England around the same time period, so like your broadswords and stuff like that, they did fold steel. People think that they didn't, but no, they did. Vikings and medieval people, they folded steel, but they only needed to do it twice or three times, and because the quality of metal was better, and the reason why they folded the steel was for hardness, to get the blade's hardness on the edge at the right amount, and also to reinforce the center of the blade, because obviously you want that to be your most structural point. Because broadswords are quite flexible as well, so you want it to be nice, strong, and then they also had a little bit of flexibility in it. But they didn't need to fold it nowhere near as much as the Japanese did, because their metal was better quality. They had a bit higher carbon content in it, and it was just better quality, so they didn't need to, but they did. The same practices, they didn't know each other at this time, but yet they did the same practices, because through experience, you learn these things. If you didn't fold it, it would just snap in half as soon as you hit something. But if you did fold it, you give it that structural integrity to be more flexible and be stronger. Because like I said, the atoms are literally intertwined and holding each other in. They're supporting one another. So that's why folding steel is like really good. And to this day, we still do that practice, except at an industrial level. So when these knives are pumped out of these big machines, they do fold steel. They just do it through machines instead of manpower. So, but still a long process. Even making a kitchen knife is not easy.
Yeah. Imagine if you had to make one from. How long would it take you to make a kitchen knife from scratch? And that would be go out, dig out the dirt, and purify it to become iron. Purify the iron, and then turn it into steel, and then make the handles for it and put it all together.
There's a lot of work to it.
Oh hell yeah! You got to build the screws too. You have to build the screws as well. You can't buy those either.
I wouldn't do screws. I would do rivets instead, pins.
Okay, you have to build the rivets and the rivet gun.
No, I don't need to build a rivet gun.
Yes, you do.
No, I just do
This is my hypothetical. You build the rivet gun.
So collecting the metal is probably the hardest part. That ain't easy. And then I would also have to melt it down into a crucible, which that again isn't easy. I would have to buy a furnace. I would not do an old school with the coal. I would also have to buy an anvil. I
You
would
got to
also
build the
have to
anvil too. Every
buy
part of this, you
some.
have to
Oh
build
my
prior to
god!
building the knife.
Oh, building an anvil is probably the hardest thing. I would fucking. I would rather build a fucking knife without an anvil than fucking build an
Oh,
anvil.
really? How fucking
Oh,
hard are anvils to build?
really hard.
Yeah, right.
That's why they're so expensive. Yeah, they're hard as fuck to build. So so the way you make an anvil,
Right.
this is the most common practice. You can do it two ways. The easiest way is actually getting hold of some railway tracks and grinding it and shaping it to be an anvil. That is
Right.
probably the easiest and cheapest way of doing it.
I've got this
'cause-
mental image of you just going down to the local train station and just pinching a couple of train lines.
Yeah.
Just chuck her on the ute. Let's go. We're up to build an anvil.
Just a train derailment happened because some random Australian decided he wanted to make an anvil out of the tracks. He overhauled the
9
tracks
people are
into
dead, but at
Taiwan.
least I got my fucking anvil.
Millions of dollars of damage.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, that's the easiest way of doing it. But the only downside with doing it like that, obviously, the railway track is not as big as an actual anvil, a proper anvil, and you don't have like a horseshoe or anything like that. So, it's the easiest way to get something when you need something. It would
Yeah.
definitely work on a fucking knife. I can tell that much right now because the knife's not very big. Now, to make an anvil, the easiest way to make a proper horseshoe anvil is you make a cast. You could probably do this with a 3D printer. These days, that would make life so much easier than the old wax days. So you'd make yourself a 3D printer. You'd probably make it out of material that like melts at a certain temperature to sort of like melt it away, essentially, to get you your shape, and then you would make a mold using clay. Then you would melt a shitload of iron with a bit of carbon in it to give it a little bit of structure, but not too much, because all it is just a cast iron block you're making. You would then pour the crucible and the shitload of metal, and this is going to take a lot of metal too. So it's not easy. So you need a big fucking crucible to do it. Like it's just not economical at all to do it by yourself in your backyard. And then you create your mold. So you then obviously create the mold, so like the forelegs, the body, and all that sort of stuff. Then what you need to do is you then need to make the block. So on top of a anvil, there's a big piece of steel, and the steel's made in a very particular way. It's got to have some sort of reverb quality to it. It's got to have bounce, basically. So essentially, if you get a ball bearing and you drop it on the top of an anvil, the ball bearing should, if it's really good quality, should jump up to the same height that you drop it, if not more. If it goes higher than what you dropped it, then you've got a really fucking good anvil there. And you then make that steel block. You would have to do it the same this is why it's hard, because you need an anvil to make an anvil. And then you put that on it. You would then weld it on there, and then obviously you would have to make your horn as well. If you wanted a horn, you would have to make that the same process as the metal block, because usually that's made out of steel as well. And then you weld that onto the iron block. And that's essentially how you make, in a real archaic description, but it's a lot more complicated, but that's how you make an anvil. It's hard. It's really, really hard making this shit. And making blades and stuff like that is hard. And I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't make a good quality knife, to be brutally honest. But I could make one. Take me a long time. Maybe probably a few attempts, but yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Oh, nothing ever is.
Nah, neither is. But yeah, it'd just be easier to buy an anvil and then buy a propane or LPG powered furnace and then LPG powered crucible as well, and just use that. Because Coal, you can get coal quite hot, but the problem with coal is like it takes ages to heat up to get to temperature, and then it takes ages to cool down. It's not really portable, and it's just gas is just so much better because you can control the heat much better. But if I was to make a knife, because I'm not very good, it would probably take me a month.
Really, it would probably take me a year.
Yeah, it would take me. Yeah, it would take me a month of like me working full time still and doing it as on the side. It would take me a month. Yeah,
It would take me. It'd take me a whole year full time.
And it would probably take me quite a few attempts too. So that's why it would take me a month. Is because I would be making not just one knife. I would be making so many knives and then destroying them and redoing it again and again and again until I get what I like. And the handle, I would make the handle out of probably some sort of red gum wood, and I would probably pin the handle. So how I would make the pins is I would create a little piece of rod and I'll extend it out to go through the handle. And then what I would do is I'll put it through the pin through, and then I would make little rivet caps that then go on the handle when they're glowing hot, push them on when they're glowing hot, and then just go dunk with a hammer to seal them in. That's how I would do it.
No, fair enough.
Or you get the pin.
Yes.
You get the pin,
and
then you get a special mushroom tool that mushrooms the head of the pin.
Mushroom tool?
This is while it fucking is
Oh, that mushroom. Yeah, I understand what you mean by mushroom tool. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it goes over the pin. It's a rivet tool, but it goes over the pin and it will mushroom the pin out.
Yep.
To then seal it together and
It'll
hold it together.
wash it.
Yeah. That's I'll do those two practices. I have done that one with that homemade sword. I did it at school. I heated it up with a butane torch, a brazing torch, and did it that way. Because my metal tech teacher in high school was an actual blacksmith.
All right, hell yeah.
He did his apprenticeship as a blacksmith.
That nice.
So he was quite cool because it was actually it was fun talking to him about that stuff because not many people really like understood it. Like, because I just did it as a hobby and sort of just like at a friend's place using a fireplace. We used coal in the fireplace, got the thing glowing red, and that's how we did it. And when I got talking to him and that, it was like really fascinating. I never really went further than that, and I stopped obviously because I didn't have the tools or anything like that to do it anymore. And even then, we didn't have the tools back then to do it. We did everything with like fucking claw hammers and mallets and shit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we did it really old-fashioned way, using a railway anvil. That because where I grew up, there used to be a train that used to run from like all the way down south of where I used to live. Anyway, and they ripped up that train line and turned into a bike track. But the fences that hold, like that, protect cars and stuff like that from going on there, are actually made out of the old railway tracks.
Yeah, excellent.
So we stole one and yeah.
Just casually.
Well, it was knocked down. Someone drove into it and like knocked it down, and the council wasn't going to fix it, so we just took the railway track out of it. And
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
But yeah, it was really interesting talking to him. And then like one day, someone had one of the groundskeepers came in because he snapped the crowbar. Now, a crowbar isn't what people think. Crowbar like on Half-Life 2 with the fucking hook in it. That's not a crowbar. That's a pinch bar or a there's a few other pinch bar. They call it pinch bar. A crowbar in Australia anyway is actually a big, long, heavy duty. Here we go. This is. When it loads, just give me a sec. The internet's really, really shit lately, and I don't know why. It's really annoying.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Fucking McDonald's.
Just enjoy it. Just have fun.
So this is a crowbar. So it's a big, long, heavy, and I mean fucking heavy, piece
Oh,
of
hang on.
hardened steel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And you use it for digging out fence posts and stuff like that. That's a crowbar, not a pinch bar. But that's a crowbar. So
Okay. My question still remains:
Yeah.
how?
how did he snap it?
How did he snap it? Pinch bar, crowbar, doesn't matter. In fact, I think it's actually, by the looks of it, it's more difficult to snap a crowbar than a
So-
pinch bar.
What happened was he was doing some digging. I think he was making another dead pit. Because I went to an agriculture school, so we used to have dead pits. And the dead pit is as the name. So when an animal dies, instead of expensively disposing of the animal's body, we'll chuck it in the dead pit. It's literally a pit that all these animals, all the chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, every animal in the school would be chucked in the dead pit. Anyway, and then obviously it would break down over time, and then when it gets full,
The
they'll
smell
just,
must have been horrific.
it wasn't actually, because it had a cover on it, like a big solid. It had a door and everything, so it'd seal up.
Oh, okay.
It had vents, but it would seal up, and you didn't notice it at all. You'd be walking on top of it. And the only time you notice the smell is when they open the lid.
Yeah, right.
And the only time we opened the lid is when we had the tractor anyway, so we're nowhere near really it, and we'd open it with the tractor, and then the cow or the sheep would be in the bucket of the tractor, and just tip it in, and then close the lid and be done with it.
A morbid thought.
So what happened was, it was good education. It really teaches you about death.
Today, kids, we're gonna learn about death. Now put the cow in the pit.
Especially when fucking chlamydia came through the chickens. Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this might be a story too far. I don't want to talk about the chlamydia going through the chickens because that just seems like a bridge too far.
Well, it's not. It's not a bridge too far. So what happens is pigeons are a really bad spread of disease, and they poo in the food of the chicken food. Pigeons carry there's a chlamydia version for birds, and what it does, it attacks the throat of the birds, and it will kill them.
Right.
It's non-curable. It will kill them. You can't treat them. Anyway, and so we were having problems with the pigeons, and we ended up losing like half our stock in like one night from the disease. Yeah. So we ended up having to find all the chickens that were infected and killing them. And easiest way to kill a chicken is break its neck. So we high schoolers, 16, 17, only the seniors were allowed to do it because obvious reasons. And,
it'll probably traumatize all the younger younger students.
Yeah, it definitely would. And so we had to kill like 50 chickens, and we had to do it fast because at my school, we also used to have these things, this trail thing where we get like primary school kids to come out, and then we'll take them around the farm, and us high school kids would take them around the farm and give them a tour of the farm and tell them about what we do and all that sort of stuff. So that was happening that day. And I happened to be also a tour guide of that as well. So in the morning we were told, and I was part of the chicken club as well. So it was my responsibility as well. And so we were told that we had to go to the chicken club in the morning. So I had to get a letter to say I'm exempt to do this instead of English and all that sort of shit. And so we went out there. We went out to the pens, and literally, like, as we got there, the groundskeeper was there, and he's like, "All right, so you guys know how to dispose of the chickens?" And we're like, yeah. And he's like, "All right, so what you do?" And he just picks up chicken, just like straight in front of us.
Okay.
And he did it so subtly. The chicken didn't even know what was happening. It was like, it was over in seconds. And then he's like, "All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to pile all the chickens up out the front." And then he was like, "And can you?" And he pointed to me. He's like, "Because you're the only one with a tractor license. Can you then drive the tractor around once we're done, and then we'll chuck it on the bucket, and then you take it to the dead pit?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." So that's what we did. We killed like up to 50 chickens, and we had to do it quick before the trails start, before we literally mortify all these young-eyed, bushy-tailed children are getting excited to see farm animals. So we kind of wanted to sort of not show them a pile of dead chickens that we just killed ourselves. Yeah. So then I got in the tractor and I used the same tractor we also use for demonstration as well for the tours as well. And so I grabbed that and then loaded all the chickens up in the bucket and drove it down to the dead pit and lifted it up and then just fucking dumped them all in there. Yeah, so that was, you know, it was really, really
That
good
was a
learning
thing.
experience. Yeah. You can't you can love animals but also like really understand how everything works in the farming side and why you do the things you do. And not everything is great. You know, that it was pretty sad really because, you know, these chickens, we've looked after them and we reared them and well, we didn't rear them, but like we looked after them from eggs because it's a breeding livestock. These aren't egg layers. These are competition breeding chickens. And yeah, so it kind of sucks, but you know, it's just you have to sort of just get on with it. And if we didn't do it, they would spread it to other chickens, and then next minute they'll all be dead. So you have to do it. There's no treatment, there's no cure, and it's a horrible way of dying because they can't eat, they can't drink, and then some of them would suffocate because obviously their throat closes up. So that's why a lot of them died overnight. Their airways closed up and they suffocated, so it was pretty horrible. So it was literally the most humane thing that we could do for them, and they didn't suffer. It was over in an instant. But anyway, long story short, so the crowbar was snapped trying to dig a new dead pit. And what he was trying to do was trying to break it because it was a very limestone area. He was trying to break limestone in half. So then that way he can lift it out with the tractor because it was too big of a rock and too heavy for the hydraulics. So he snapped it in half. Anyway, so then he took it into the metal work and he talked to my metal tech teacher and he's like, "Can you fix this or do we just buy a new one?" And he looked at it and he's like, "Yeah, I can fix it." He's like, "How long do you want me to give me?" And he's like, "Give me to the end of the day." So because we had a double practical on that day as well.
Yeah, right.
So I was building my crane. This is when I was in year 12. So I was building my crane. I built like this 8-ton lifting capacity engine crane to go in the back of my dad's ute. So I was building that. It was quite complicated because I was going above and beyond for the weight. So it could handle it could lift 8 ton, which is pretty massive. The car can't lift fucking more than 1.5 tons. So put it that way. And I did that. I over-engineered it because my dad's really good at breaking things. He still broke it. Anyway.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Anyway, yeah, he bent it by trying to fucking tow a tree with it.
Well,
Anyway,
trees are a little bit more than 8 tons.
He still has it. It just sits in his shed. And just, every time I look at it, I'm like, I fucking spent hours and hours, like over 70 hours building that fucking thing. Anyway. So it was really cool watching him. He was using the oxy torch to heat up the metal. And he folded the steel and he mended it all together. And then he fucking got this dyer that he had. And then he just fucking stretched it all out. Then he heated up the end and then he fucking made the shape. And then he heat treated it and then doused it. It did everything in a day. Made this crowbar again. It's fucking crazy how quick he did it too. Yeah, I've never seen anyone do it that quick. And we didn't have a power hammer or anything like that at school, so he did it all by hand, with hammer and shit. It's fucking crazy watching him work. And he's a tall, slender guy too, so you don't expect him to be strong as well. Because normally a lot of blacksmiths, you see them big ass,
big burly
their
blokes.
fucking arms are like that because swinging that hammer around is fucking heavy. Nah, he fucking... If there was a way that he could do it smart without exerting himself, he knew how to do it. When he used the die, what he did is because we had big industrial sized vices, so he put the die in there that stretches into a hexagonal, and he pushed the end through there and he just fucking bang, bang, bang through the hammer and pushed it all the way through to make the hexagonal shape again. And it was pretty cool. Fucking wicked. Watch him do that.
No, fair enough. It would be really exciting to see someone work like that, just building stuff.
Yeah, most commonly he would just fix up the head if the head was damaged and stuff like that. But that was pretty extreme.
No, fair enough.
Honestly, though, he probably they ended up buying a new one anyway because even though he fixed it and whatnot, I don't think it was to the same standards it originally was anyway. Because they didn't really
Yeah,
use
that's
it much,
fair.
so he must have just fixed it just for shits and gigs and was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit
Out of
happens.
curiosity,
What?
just keep on the topic of building stuff, but change the subject in terms of what. Um, would you ever build a guitar or any other kind of musical instrument?
Nah,
No.
nah, I wouldn't be good at that. I'm not good with wood. I struggle with woodworking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I would assume that if you're good with metal, then you're good with wood. That's
nah.
peculiar.
I prefer metal over wood. And the reason why is because if I fuck up with metal, I can fix it. Wood, you fuck up
Oh,
with wood,
okay.
that's it. It's done. You have to get a new piece.
Yeah.
so yeah, because like with metal, like if you bend it wrong, you just bend it straight and bend it again. Um, or if you fuck it completely on, you just reheat it, reshape it. Like it's a lot more forgiving than wood. Wood's pretty hard, and I've just never really been great at it. Like, and I can't get the straight edges that I can get on metal on wood. Like, I always fuck that up. Like, I made a cricket bat. You know, this side had a steeper angle than this side. I couldn't get them to match. I couldn't get them to be uniform. Like if I cut down the slice in the middle, both halves are the same. I couldn't struggle. I struggle to get straight hedges and stuff like that. It is my fault. I'm just not skilled in it. And admittedly, if I had like a proper guide and stuff like that, yeah, I could. Yeah, definitely do that. But yeah, I just struggle. I just struggle with it. I don't know why. Just never really been
No,
that
fair
good
enough.
at it. I'm competent enough that I can make something. But yeah,
I want to try building a guitar
you should.
from scratch. I'm gonna try it.
Should definitely do it.
I've already. I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build the pickups as well as
Yeah.
the rest of the guitar. Because actually, you want to hear something exciting I learned yesterday?
What?
Bunnings sell neodymium magnets, which neodymium
Yeah.
magnets are fucking cool. I
They are
love
cool.
neodymium magnets.
They are
You got like your
sick. Yeah.
ferrite magnets, which are your standard magnets, and then you got your neodymiums, which are like your extra strong magnets. They're
Yeah,
so cool. I love them.
I have one of them in my toolbox. I
Yeah.
use it when I'm not don't want to hold my screwdrivers. I use that to hold them. Speaking of actually car related, before we get closer towards the end, check out this.
Continue. Yeah.
This poor person posting the D40 club. The turbo blew up.
Oh
And
no.
look at all the fucking oil coming out. Look at a mess. This is older than my car because you can see the EGR pipe. It's got
Yeah.
so these pipes come down here. They're the coolant for it. That's the coolant for the EGR pipe. I would divert this and block this off, to be honest, or just get a pipe and go from there to there and just get rid of this whole thing. I would also then block off the EGR pipe and disable it, so the EGR doesn't work. But yeah, the turbo's blown on it. He's asking if there was any ideas on aftermarket stuff, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I wouldn't go aftermarket. I'll just get an original D40 turbo, because they're a Garrett. When you start messing with aftermarket stuff, it ends up being messy, eh?
Yeah.
Ends
Well,
up,
I mean, the half the time the aftermarket manufacturers probably don't even have the right specifications. They're just sort
yeah,
of
they usually,
rolling off of
yeah.
standards in quotation
Well,
marks.
at work, half the time things go wrong is usually an aftermarket part that's
Always.
responsible. Usually genuine stuff's not that bad, and at least genuine stuff's easy to fix because it literally bolts on. You don't have to fuck around. Like
Yeah.
so we had a big job last weekend where it was on a Y62 patrol, so a V8 patrol, and it had the air conditioning in the back. So what they do is they have this giant. I can't show pictures, obviously, but you've seen them anyway.
Yeah.
So one, yeah. So there's this like 3 and a bit meter long air conditioning hose that runs from the top front of the vehicle all the way to the back of the vehicle. That obviously puts the air conditioning gas through an evaporator in the back of the vehicle, so the back and the front are both cool. Really dumb,
Fair enough.
really dumb design in the sense that you've got over 3 meters long pipe that's very thin aluminium. So what happened was it just over time rubbed through against the body of the car and made a hole, and then
Oh,
the gas
no.
leaked out, and now the aircon doesn't work, which sucks because a Y62 Patrol is such a sealed car that even if you have the windows down, they don't really do a good job cooling you. And then if it's a hot day as well, it's not really going to help. So you get pretty hot in them. So they'll be desperate to get it fixed. And, you know, this hose is fucking expensive. And then also the risk of shipping it as well is scary because, you know, it's a 3 meter long, thin piece of aluminium hose. So,
Oh,
you know,
no.
shipping's pretty sketchy because it could easily come damaged.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the job to fix it, if you're a Y62 owner, I would like definitely be looking at reducing the chances of this rubbing, because if you need it fixed, it is a job. Because you have to separate the body from the chassis. And so that is a job. That is a big job. So you have to take
job
out,
and a half,
you have to
Jesus.
take out the battery tray. You have to take out the ECU. You have to take out, unplug all the wiring, all the brakes, the hoses, everything, all the cooling, everything. Everything's going to come out. You can leave the radiator in there because that's obviously connected to the body, but like, and you got to lift the whole body up above. And what made this job really hard is because obviously it's a modified car with like modified electronics and like dual batteries, all that sort of stuff. So all of that made it difficult, and it ended up being such a big job. Luckily it was all done, you know, but it took us like 3 days to do it all.
Far out.
Yeah, it's quite a job. It's like over 20 hours. Yeah, 20 hours of labor. It's crazy. We also on the news of this is getting released in Australia.
No, apparently it's not, but I
It's
haven't
not?
confirmed
What,
that
the
yet.
Kia?
Apparently it's not.
No.
Oh no, the Kia. Sorry,
the Kia,
I was
yeah,
talking
no,
about
no,
the.
no,
I was
yeah,
talking about the Toyota. I was talking about the Toyota. Buddy,
Champ,
whatever.
the Champ.
Champ.
The
That's the
Toyota
one. Thank
Champ.
you.
Yeah.
The Toyota Buddy.
So this is a new Kia full drive that's going to be releasing soon. I think it's crap. Like, look
I don't.
at the
I don't
bumper
mind the
on
boxy
that.
design, but the sheer size of it would be a
Yeah.
nightmare.
And then, like, look at this front fender. Why is it so low? Like, a lot of the time, this is going to be like driven by tradies and stuff. Like, if you are a family and you buy this, one, you're an idiot because you're now paying extra registration because it's a fucking Ute. Second of all, it just looks fucking dog shit, and it's got the Kia brand name on it. Like, like, okay, if you didn't really give a shit about the car that you own and you just wanted something to get from A to B, a Kia's not a bad choice for a budget car. They have come a long way. They're not as bad as they once was. They do come with 7-year warranty, but they still have the exact same problems that they've always had, which is quality control. They still have issues with quality control no matter what. But they're not like a bad car. Like, if you buy one and own one, you probably were very happy with it. If you own this, on the other hand, I don't think you'd be very happy with it if you were actually using it for what its intended purpose is, because I think you're going to break it very quickly, because I just see this thing just being shit, and I hope I'm proven wrong. I always like to be proven wrong, but it just looks fucking dog garbage. It just... Anyway, and then on another note of automotive, when I first started learning about the timing chains and stuff like that on my car, I used to watch this guy's videos until I realized that he was a scam artist. So something really funny's happened with him. As you can see, there's an entire world global page dedicated to him. So and there's a picture of him getting arrested. So a little while ago, I'm not going to say his name, but well, actually you saw his name in there anyway, but he failed for bankruptcy and then conveniently died not long after.
The hell? Conveniently died. Or
Yeah.
you think he faked his death, or did he actually
Fucking
die?
oath I do. I
You
legitimately
think he faked
I
his
think he
death?
faked his death, yeah.
Yeah, so like one way to start.
So
I guess.
he failed for his company, and his thingo failed for bankruptcy, and then he somehow died of a disease that he just randomly got diagnosed with on the day of his death, and then died and then had his funeral all in the same time.
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
It doesn't really, does it? Yeah, his
No.
funeral. So this was
Usually
from
takes.
this is from his family himself. They're like, sadly, such and such died. We've already had his funeral on the same day of his death. He lost his battle with such and such, and he was diagnosed with it like a couple days before, something like that. Like I'm paraphrasing here. Like it just was very dodgy.
Yeah, this doesn't. Something's not adding up. You don't
Yeah.
get diagnosed with something and then die immediately, because that's usually these things sort of develop in such a way that usually you find out you're gonna die months before you actually die.
Yeah, and usually it doesn't happen right after bankruptcy. Like,
Yeah, that's the other part of it too.
Because scammed so many people out of money. That's the reason why he owed so much money. And then his family is apparently trying to fucking do their shenanigans again, like not long after. Like try and scam again.
What do you mean by that? I was trying to say a scam again. Well, obviously they're in on it. Obviously, because if they're trying to scam, whatever.
It's all speculation. Nothing's proof. I don't know if he's actually dead. I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if his family is actually legitimately trying to scam again. I don't know shit, but just looking at the situation, it looks really, really dodgy. But he must have been pretty bad that, like, going through the comments and that on the page, his neighbors and that said that, like, he got an argument with them over something and then he just came out and smashed up their cars. He was always having the police over. He was just a dodgy fuckwit. He would, like, never give customers cars back. He would sell customers cars.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he was really, really dodgy. He was supposedly a mechanic, and a D40 specialist at that. That's the reason why I watched his videos, is because he was the only one at the time that would show a breakdown on how to replace a simplex timing chain with a duplex timing chain. There was not many people that actually had a video on it. He did. His actual videos of the procedure of doing it was legit, but his shop was very scummy. So, yeah, it was just really interesting. Like, I thought that was really funny. And, like, to get that bad, you literally have to have, like, a global Facebook page dedicated to how shit you are as a person.
That's how you know you've made it.
That's how you know you've fucking leveled up. Global phenomenal. But in fairness, though, like, it is a little bit shitty. Like, he's a scammer and all that sort of stuff. But people, like, going on about, like, I'm glad that he's dead and all this sort of shit. And I'm just like, you must have really hated him, or one, you just jumping on the bandwagon. I don't care either, but it is sad for the people that actually do care about him, that if he is actually legitimately dead, that he's gone. But it'd be really fucking funny if it turns out he faked his death, though. Because it just, who comes up with that shit if that's true? Like, yeah.
Cross that one off the bucket list. Fake death.
Fake death.
Allegedly.
Fake your own death. That.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be good, because you can't do anything. You can't buy anything. You can't, like, because all your accounts are closed. Like, what are you going to do with yourself? Like, we're in a cashless society as well, so you can't just fucking live on cash. Like, yeah, nah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You have to fake a whole new identity.
Probably. Maybe that's probably what he's going for.
Yeah, but then you'll get flagged straight away with your photo.
Maybe. Who knows?
Because usually, like, a lot of countries these days now, when you do, like, your licensing and photography and stuff, it goes through like a yeah, I know that Warren's
hello, Wazdog. How are you?
Identity, but the problem is a lot of, like, I don't know if it's in Australia, but a lot of countries also do, because of AI now, they do facial recognition. So, there's a few places I've heard stories. I don't know if it's true or not, but when you get a photo taken, so like a fake ID, it will scan the database of your photo, and if it matches with someone else, it will flag it.
Right.
So so say for example, like Warren said, a fake ID, a new identity, right? The only way I think if the government had that sort of, or the police had that sort of system in place, like an actual facial recognition software that scans and matches faces to make sure people aren't scamming or fake IDs or stuff like that. So if it comes up with your actual ID and it matches them together, it's like, hang on a minute, they got a different name, it'd be flagged. The only way you'd probably be able to get it to work is if somehow you were to delete the data of your old system, which wouldn't happen. Because even after you're dead, your identity's still out there. It's still in the database. They don't just get rid of it. They have to hold on to it for X amount of years after your death, probably for that reason.
Yeah.
So
live in the bush.
yeah, if you live in the bush, you'd be fine. But again, yeah, it's just hard. It wouldn't be a good life at all. Like if you faked your death. But anyway, I kind of hope he faked his death. I mean, like
that would actually be like one of the greatest stories ever.
Look at him. Look how fucking dodgy this guy is. Look at him. So what happened here was when he got arrested here, he stole 3 cars. 3 cars he stole.
Must get up very early in the morning.
So the customers demanded their cars back after he didn't fix them within 2 weeks. They demanded his car back, and they ended up going to the police about it. And then 2 of the 3 cars or something he disposed of. I think he sold them. I don't know exactly what happened.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah, and anyway, so then the police came and arrested him. Which is fucking funny as. And then he made a video the next day saying, "Oh, this stupid fucking customer, he fucking said that I stole his vehicle, and see, look, here's his fucking vehicle." Like, you know, I'm trying to say it with a Yorkshire accent, like his feralness, it's just not that good. But anyway,
that was probably the worst Yorkshire accent I've ever heard in my life.
I know, it was terrible. I am trying to insult him.
I actually thought you were trying to impersonate someone from South Australia.
Oh, that's some fighting words there, mate. Fucking hell.
Oh, this customer, they says I've sold his car, but his car's right there.
At least we're not
What's up with that?
At least we're not fucking Victorians and say castle.
That is true.
It is true. They say things weird, man.
Oil square up, mate.
It's fucking funny. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens in that one. So I'll be watching that Facebook page with a microscope. Now, back to your original thing about the hang on, I'm just copying the URL link. Just give me a sec. Now,
in an era where you can buy a new truck for 20,000.
Back to this thing.
Back to this thing.
Fuck, can't we get this Australia? Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I haven't confirmed whether it's coming to Australia or not. I haven't confirmed.
I want this. We need
I want
this.
it too.
We need this. I don't care that its safety rating is shit. I want this. That's the reason why. I was looking up before. The reason why they're not bringing it to Australia is because it has a shit safety rating.
Oh.
Doesn't have air.
Well, just don't crash it.
I think it's got airbags, but it doesn't have traction control or stability control, like anything. It's just got ABS, airbags, and that's it.
Why? Oh my god! Why?
It's simple. It's a simple car.
Yeah, that's all I want. I love simple cars.
And it doesn't come in full drive. It only comes in wheel drive. It's literally designed as a workshop car. See, it's all simple interior. Looks fucking. It looks good. I like it. Like, it's got the Prado front end on it, but like it's ugly that I love it. You know what I mean? Like,
I love its box. I love boxy looking cars. I love them so much.
I also like the modifications that can happen with this thing. Like, this is probably.
It looks like you can do just about anything what you want with it.
If this came into Australia and I had unlimited funds, I would probably modify the fuck out of this thing. I'd probably stick a motor in it that shouldn't probably belong. I would probably get rid of that tray and maybe do something else with it. I could even do something even crazy and like make it rear motored. So put the motor in the tray.
Rear-motored?
Yeah, put the motor in the tray. Like get a big fuck off motor. Soup the shit
It
out
sounds
of
like you're
it.
trying to tear it to pieces.
Oh, I would totally tear it to pieces. I would turn
I mean,
this.
like, no,
I
you
would
rev
turn
the
this
engine and the thing would fall to pieces.
No, because like I would probably, honestly, I think this would be probably one of the easiest cars in modern history, in modern car building. I reckon this would be one of the easiest cars to like change chassis and change bodies and stuff like that on this.
Probably.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if you could swap the body of this and put it on a Hilux body.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
I want one with like a canopy
be
on top
kinda
so I can
fun.
like do mobile
Yeah.
audio recordings. I think that'd be great.
yeah.
But
You know
but
what I
if
also
we-
see the future of this car's gonna be?
what's that?
This is gonna be a game changer in like third world countries like Africa and Middle East and stuff.
The Hilux wars all over again.
The Hilux wars all over again. This is gonna be the most highly modified car to ever have 50 cal machine guns in the back of it. We're gonna see like anti-air, anti-tanks. Fucking, I can just imagine in the back of this car someone putting a fucking tank turret. Just like get like a frame in the back of it and just steal a fucking T-55 tank head on it, just stick it on the back, beef up the suspension, and we're like, we got the mobile purpose fucking Toyota tank. Like, fucking, I don't know, I just could see this fucking being so modifiable that, yeah. The potential is
I actually came across a
crazy.
title that literally the title of the article is Toyota's 13,000 American, I'm guessing. $13,000 pickup is so cheap because the buyer has to finish building it. Like, yeah, so you can like do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, and
That's what that
people
means.
love that. That's the reason why, like, you know, the Skylines and the Supras and the Evos and not so much the WRXs, but yeah, you could say WRXs. That's the reason why people love those cars so much, because they are so modifiable. They're literally designed to be able to bolt parts in and out of them from different makes, like different versions of the same car and all that sort of stuff. Like, they were just so part swappable. That's why people love them. That's why people love LS engines so much, because it's so modifiable, because there's so many parts for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, that's the reason why in America at the moment people like the Bronco so much, the Ford Bronco, because it is a highly modifiable car. You can change the doors on them. You can do anything with them. And I think this will be one of those situations because it is designed as a pure function work vehicle. So depending what type of workload you want it to do you want it to carry heavy loads? You could upgrade the tray. You could upgrade the suspension on it quite easily, probably. Just looking at it, and you know, you could make it, hell, you want to turn it into a tow truck, put a bigger motor in it. Sure, you could probably do that if you really wanted to. I don't know, you could do lots of different things with this thing if you have the money and the know-how to do it. Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Because it's simple. I think that's the reason why. It's because it's simple. Probably doesn't have an emission controls. It probably doesn't. It probably has absolutely
doesn't
bare
have
minimal.
all the requirements. It's because it is just a bare minimum car, but I think that's all I want. I just want a car that literally goes forwards and backwards and turns left to right. Like, that's all I want.
Because it's petrol motored, isn't it? It's not diesel.
I have no idea.
I reckon it's got a petrol motor.
It wouldn't surprise me if you can probably get it in both, because I think that's how a lot of them. Hang on, a pair of petrol engines and turbo diesel. You can get it in either one. You can get it in petrol or turbo diesel.
C4D. Yeah.
2.7 petrol or 2.4 diesel.
Okay.
Produces 110 kilowatts at 400 nano.
That's not bad for it. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It will definitely get the job done. Like, it's not going to be a towing vehicle, that's for sure. But
it's got a payload capacity of 1,000 kilograms, so you never know.
I am gonna say this straight off the bat. No, you cannot tow a caravan that big with this thing. The motor's not gonna. It won't last long.
Yeah.
You'll fuck it.
A 6-speed automatic transmission, exclusive to high power petrol and diesel. 2-liter petrol offers only available 5-speed. It's five. Okay. And the fact that you can get it in a manual kind of is exciting too. But again, you can't get it in Australia because our government hates us.
Yeah, it'll be the safety reasons. I reckon. I reckon it won't have got nowhere near as many safety ratings on it, so it won't. That's why like key trucks and stuff like that aren't here in a production level. You can buy them and bring them over, but
Can I import this one?
you might be able to.
I probably wouldn't.
You might actually be able to import it. You'll probably have to wait a little bit, but you'll probably be able to. You probably have to do a few modifications for it to be road legal, but you could easily import
Yeah,
it.
that's the part that's sort of
Because it'd be really good. Like if I was a farmer and I wanted that, I would import it and just simply not drive it on the road. Just leave it on the property.
yeah, if you had a
that.
farm, yeah,
You
that
could
could
easily
work.
do that as long as it won't be road legal. Like if you need to take it to a workshop or anything like that, you would have to have it on the back of a tow truck
Yeah, right.
or car trailer. But on your private property, you could easily use it for that.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to pay registration.
Yeah, true.
You wouldn't be able to insure it though, but yeah, you might be able to insure it as a farm vehicle, like plant equipment or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pity. It's a pity. Australia is probably one of the most stupidest restrictions.
We're heavily what's the word? We've got a lot of legislation, a lot of laws, heavily restricted and whatnot.
Which is
and
a lot of the times is dumb, really, because like I still stand by this. In the modern times, there are more accidents now than there ever have been, and I think a lot of it is to do with population and laziness. Too many cars these days, you don't have to drive much, and people become too complacent in it. Plus, also the mobile phones distracting all the fucking time.
oh yeah.
But I honestly think a lot of the contributing factors is because people think that the cars are that safe, and they pretty much drive themselves, so they become complacent about relying on the car to stop for them. I honestly think that's true because I see more accidents of these modern cars with these safety features than I do on older cars where people have to pay attention. This is a nice version of a modified Hilux. I saw this the other day.
Saw that.
Yeah, pretty funny. I don't know. They would have had to modify the motor. Hilux motors are pretty underpowered, if you ask me.
Yeah, I've driven a Hilux. They don't have a lot of guts to them, but
No,
I mean,
not really.
probably don't need it.
They have serious DPF issues, but I do know that that's DPF and that's been removed.
Right.
Because military vehicles are not they're exempt from emission control situations because you don't really want something to go wrong while you're getting shot at. So
no.
all right, let's have a look for some people to check out. Who can we have a look at? Who is available for us to rate in on?
Let's have a look. Is Doobs on? Goober. Is Goobs on?
I haven't seen her on in a while, eh?
Yeah, I think I think from what I've been able to glean, she's actually pregnant and the pregnancy is sort of kicking her ass at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We should try and get in contact with her and just chill out with her.
Yeah. Maybe she can play Helldivers with us.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but ever since we raided that Russian person, I've been getting nothing but Russians.
Oh.
It's really, really funny.
I think it's a correlation to a causation. Hello, Punky Wog. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. We're just about to raid into someone else. You missed out on all the fun. We're talking about the new Toyota Champ.
Yeah.
And we're wishing that we could have it in Australia. And I said that it would be one of the most highly modified cars with a 50 cal on the back of it.
It would be.
It will be, yeah.
If Toyota sold it in Australia, then it would probably be the most popular car overnight.
We need to get you and Sal as guests.
Yeah, I would love one of those vehicles. It literally ticks every single one of my boxes.
It does. I would own it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'll show you. This one here. We were saying like it's gonna be one of the most modified vehicles out there because you can do so much with it. Because it's such a simple car. Like it would be easy. Like, because a lot of the biggest problems with modification of cars these days is like there's so much shit on them that you have to modify or change to be able to fit something else. Oh yeah, that's right. You and Sal are bloody locksmiths together. Hey, how's that working? You two getting up to your shenanigans again, annoying everybody in the workshop.
Yeah.
Well, it's not meant to look cool. It's meant to be just work you.
It's a full utility.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of like about it is that it has that look of like, yep, you can do literally whatever you want, and it will just not.
It's one of those
kill the damn
things.
thing.
It's one of those things. It looks so ugly that you can't love it.
Yeah, well, not. I love it. Like I don't even think it looks
Yeah.
ugly at all. It looks like it's it looks like extremely reliable and just unbeatable. And you can throw whatever you want at it; it'll handle it with no
Every
problems.
second Twitch streamer is literally, I'm doing a fashion show. I don't want to see that.
I'm doing a fashion. Come check out cloth that's welded to this person in a certain way.
Yeah.
I've never understood fashion.
I don't either, especially since it's not actually fashion. Like all the clothes they wear in Fashion Week and stuff like that is literally just for that. Like they don't make it. People don't wear it. Like I don't get it. I don't understand and I don't care for it because
Yeah, neither do
what
I.
they do to those girls to like wear these dresses is just disgusting. How they treat each other, everything is just disgusting. It's another Russian.
Another Russian. Hell yeah.
So many Russians. I don't mind them, but I just wish I could understand them.
Or learn Russian.
What about you? Who are you? Everything's in a different language. I think you're Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Sorry, I'm just trying to find some good things. So, what's it like being a locksmith? Much better than working in the warehouse? I know that I'd much rather be a locksmith than work in the warehouse. I'm actually thinking of trying to well, I'm not thinking, I'm going to eventually start up a little key cutting thing on the side.
Yeah.
And then eventually I might learn to actually be a proper locksmith and maybe open up a little business. I don't know. See how the future beholds. Who knows? Oh yeah, so you're almost second year. That's sick. What's the most complicated thing you've done so far? Have you done Salto yet, or? Because I reckon Salto would be relatively complicated. Just the setting it up anyway.
Likely.
Because it's all electronic lock systems.
Yeah, everyone has to be an electrical engineer before they can study their niche electrical engineer
Salto's
interest.
easy. Well, that's good. Yeah, you guys run the contract out here, so congratulations with that. I wonder if they'll send you guys out here. That'd be cool. We have to catch up if you do. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. We have issues at work with our electric doors. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, please be English speaking. Yes! Fuck yeah.
Oh, we found one.
The play mat. It's cooking. Fantasy cocktails and cooking. Fuck yeah, I'm here for that. I want to see fantasy cocktail cooking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We have a sliding door at the front and like it will open over the most stupid shit. The wind will blow and it will open. Tried messing around with the settings, but it just always does it. Anyway, we are actually ending the podcast, so apologize, for coming in and then we're leaving.
Gonna do our own thing.
Yeah, if you'll let me. That one, raid. Here we go. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and others for tuning in and saying hi. Thank you, Punky Rog, for saying hello. And thank you, Was Dog, for saying hello. We'll definitely have to organize Punky Rog and Sal to see if we can get them on as guests at some stage. That'd be kind of fun to talk to them. So we will be on again next week. I will upload last week's episode today on YouTube once this is over, and I'll probably upload this episode today as well. So, hope you have a good night and day, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.